Hello and welcome. This is your GM in the Great Barrier, broadcasting from the center of your entertainment galaxy. And we are back for Star Trek Adventures Broken Sword, looking to conclude our horror episode. Uh, when last we left off, we had joined the crew aboard a long deserted freighter, one where it seems that something very terrible has happened. Some long time ago. From what evidence the crew has gathered, it seems as though amid a journey that it was on, some sort of madness or plague seemed to have taken over the ship, specifically hitting some members of the crew, turning them to a great degree of violence and uh, causing them to lose all sense of reason. As this happened, they the remaining crew either died or were mutated into horrific forms that were vicious in combat but sparsely of any sense whatsoever. Uh, it seems, from what observation has been made, that some of the crew are indeed in danger of this, or rather some of the boarding party, for it is meant to affect Klingons. This was troublesome because, as had happened the time before, the helm officer, Mr. Azek Korg, has been bitten by one of these mutant Klingons, and as a result may be under threat of the illness. While Tabak and Dekoff, his bodyguard, have been unimpacted, other members of the away team have suffered some peril. Traven, the ship's cook, and somebody who just insisted on coming along this away mission, has been dealt pretty serious injuries, although Kresic, the ship's doctor, was able to heal them up, at least patched for a time. And the ship's engineer, Raldar, seems to have gone missing in the cargo section. No contact has been made with him since. Uh, However, while there have been some skirmishes with these beasts over the past few sessions, the news has not been all bad. Tabak managed to take the boarding party and has first found the source of or at least it seems the connection site between what appear to be labs and the cargo sections, disguised as mere cargo pods, and has also received reinforcement from his ship, the Yan, in the form of the ship's security officer, Woe, who has been trying to get a hold of them, but the ship has been jamming communication frequencies, seemingly driven by what appears to be a malevolent presence of some sort. At first, it seemed to present itself as a ghost. However, its use of holoprojectors suggests that something else may be going on. So whether computer program, ghost in the machine, something else entirely, it's not yet understood, but the crew is on the verge of learning more. Very specifically, the boarding party has assembled itself in the subdeck where they found a hidden door in the cargo bay. They are moving through that door now and into the small modules here, hoping to defeat this presence once and for all and put an end to the threat of the mutants. And that is where we will pick up. Where? At the threshold between the cargo bay and the disguised pod that appears to be some sort of module, Tabak, you look through to the threshold ahead, or like past the threshold. The module that this is connected to appears to be a fairly well lit corridor, better lit even than the inside of the rest of the ship to this point. Partly, that suggests that it has more power between that and the warm rush of air circulating from inside, which suggests there is active life support as well. There are threats beyond this point, but you are.
Would you like to save now?
Yeah.
Yes. In any case, you're about to proceed in, reckoning with the potential vulnerabilities of the situation. So, uh, is there anything you would like to do to start off?
Well, like I said, we're probably gonna have Woe, because she beamed aboard. Probably just gonna have her stationed outside the door here, just to make sure nobody sneaks past us.
Sure thing. She'll give you a nod and is like, sure thing, Cap.
These are all Klingon. Well, I'm about to say they're all Klingons. No, they're not. Um, we don't know what to expect, but be ready for violence. So I'm going in, disruptor in hand.
Okay.
Likewise.
Dakoth will also have his disruptor at the ready. Traven, Azik, are the two of you doing anything in particular in preparation for this?
Phaser in one hand, flashlight in another.
Phaser.
You know what I mean? Disruptor. Sorry.
Disruptor in one hand, knife in the other. Wait, just
Yeah.
disruptor in one hand.
No, that knife is still in the other hand. You just don't happen to have that other hand.
It's an invisible knife.
An invisible
It's
hand.
cloaked.
It's phase
Ooh.
cloaked.
Oh,
Oof.
Yeah.
Phantom knife.
I'm definitely I'm keeping close to Azik just because I know that he's the one that's been infected.
Yeah.
oh, I'm
Do
glad
do you
somebody
do you
knows.
wish to converse with your patient at all?
No. that would mean that I have bedside manners. I do not. I'm just keeping an eye on him,
Okay.
walking behind him, staring down at him, as one does.
All right. Azik, go ahead and give me a fitness and medicine roll as you cross the threshold. The difficulty on this task is going to be 3.
I think starting off, I'm going to buy an extra die.
Please.
All right, you do have 3 points of momentum that were left over from last time.
Would composure or I guess composure would probably be the only focus I'd even consider in this situation.
I don't think composure would quite apply in this case, so I'm afraid I have to rule against that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But real quick, we got our point of determination back too, right?
Yes. I'm a kind GM who is also lax on enforcement of the rules around determination, so I just prefer to do the other one. And let's see, that is a single success, Azik. The difficulty was 3. Would
that
you
is
choose?
definitely not a 3.
Yeah, so that is a 17 and a 19 for the other 2 zeros. So if there had been threat, there would have been 1 complication guaranteed. Oh dear. Well, before moving along, do you wish to do anything with determination in order to, um, or would you want to attempt to re-roll those, or would you prefer?
Let's see. Let's just see what happens.
Okay.
We'll be good.
So,
No.
I will say that we are using the rules for hazards from the science division book, which for those unfamiliar,
Wow.
Modifius does actually have they have division books for each of the covering like command, security, or rather operations as they put it, and sciences. And the sciences includes a a whole set of very interesting topics, everything from strange creature creation to biological hazards. I definitely recommend that alongside, of course, the Klingon core rulebook for this. So if you're at all curious about the system, check out Modifius. They have an online site for the U.S. and for European countries. Okay, shilling aside, the biological hazards rule instills that for every biological hazard, there is a degree of virulence for every hazard, and that is the basically the difficulty to resist the hazard. Failing that means that you begin to suffer symptoms here. So, Azik, first and foremost, you are going to take 1 point of fatigue, which is temporarily going to reduce your maximum stress by 1. I'll go ahead and make that adjustment for you here. Um, there will also be other symptoms here. So as you cross over the threshold, and we'll move screens for this effect here, stepping through into the warm air, you feel just a very slight degree of uncertainty with that last step. Your thoughts, it's as if they feel slightly more clouded. It's not quite the same for vision per se. Or that's not to say that your vision is clouded. If anything, it seems very keen, and you feel a little more aware of some of your surroundings in certain senses. Like you can feel the air rushing out of the grates and passing by your skin. You have an increased sense of the smells that everyone is giving off. The very particular, subtly different musks coming off of your other 2 Klingon compatriots. The faint trace of blood left from Traven's clothing, and perhaps perspiration, as he's undoubtedly been through a very stressful situation. And the different qualities that the doctor, who is very close by you, brings to this. You feel the strangeness of the air passing by him, and the how it differs from interacting with his scaly flesh versus those of more sort of those who have more skin rather than the scale type layering. You even feel like you pick up the sounds of a very quiet but impatient tap as Woe has leaned against the threshold, weapon shouldered but ready to quickly go up. There are definite changes that are taking place, but you don't know how everything will fully affect you.
I'm just kind of, Azik's just kind of standing there in a daze with all this input coming in. Not quite sure what's happening. I might even go, as an abundance of caution, I might even put my blaster away and go for a knife just in case, because I'd rather not shoot somebody in the back just in case. Yeah.
Okay. Kresic, you were at least in a position to see this change here as he holsters his disruptor and moves for the knife. Are you going for like reverse grip with the knife, or are you holding it with the blade kind of if one were to hold up a fist basically, would the blade be coming out near the thumb side of it essentially?
No, it'd be down. It'd be like a stabbing motion.
Okay. So.
Isaac, are you all right?
I don't know, man. There's just stuff everywhere. I think I can hear my hair growing.
Do I need to sedate you?
I don't know, man. This is trippy. I should be okay. I just need to get back to the Yan and get back in the pilot's chair. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I think I don't. Yeah, I'll be all right. I start as all these input and the sensory data is coming in. I'll start kind of humming the Gawk Pocket theme song.
On
Do
mine,
I, by any chance, overhear their conversation?
you would probably be within earshot to do so. That if you would like, I would give you a roll for that as well, if you prefer.
Yeah, let's take the roll. Just in
Okay,
case. I have
so
no idea how quiet they're trying to be.
let's call this insight and command. And are either of you two trying to keep this quiet, or would you be are either of you employing any type of subterfuge with regard to Kresic or Azek?
I'm not.
Okay, then
Because I already told the captain that Isaac's been infected. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's something I'm trying to hide.
completely fair. In that case, I would just say difficulty 1. All right, and that is 1 success. So you do what might have otherwise been indistinct chattering. You do pick up Azek, or rather Tabok, and you hear Tabok's, you hear Azek's, I'd say, semi-dream-like sort of response in a sense, or something as if to suggest the weird feel of this. Certainly,
Like,
yeah.
wow, man. Okay. That is, I note this. Don't say anything. Uh, just, you know, keep that in the back of my head just in case.
This is definitely like a fear and loathing in Las Vegas when they're in the Cadillac heading through the desert moment.
Oh, we can't stop here. This is bat country. Yeah, gotcha. All right.
Okay. So, Dekoth will look to you and say, Captain, it seems as though there's a main door ahead, but there are corners around there. We should be wary of ambushes.
Most certainly. You look left, I look right.
Okay. So, with that, Dekoth will go ahead and move up. At this point, I will ask everybody give your tokens just a little move if you so wish. And indeed, as the two of you look around, peering either way, I will not force a roll for this. So
Yeah, I told him that I told him I go left, you go right, and he went
Ah.
to the left side, so I just went to the right side. So
My
I'm
mi-
like,
my mistake.
And just sort of shake my head as he goes the wrong way, and I'm like,
Yep.
I have to teach this boy left and right now. Oh, farm kids.
Yeah. It occurs to you this could be this could very easily. I mean, he may just be. This may have been that type of mistake. This could be as much as he will show in terms of demonstrating what for anyone else would be jitters or perhaps excitement.
Yeah.
So yeah, with that you see 4 additional doors, 2 to your left and 2 to your right.
Check the tricorder, see if we got anything. Kresic, use your scanner, check for life forms. Yours will probably
On
work
it,
better.
Captain.
Okay.
Yours will work better than mine at that. But I'm scanning for where the most powerful power source is, assuming that I can at least get a direction.
Okay. Now, just to clarify, Tabak, is your scanner a standard? Is yours basically a standard issue scanner, or did you bring a more specialized engineering tool?
I brought the engineering one because that's the one I would normally grab. Because I don't think beyond that yet.
You are working on it.
I still have an engineering kit, so
Yes.
that's the one that I'm just going to grab.
Fair enough. And then, Kresic, would you be attempting your scan with your basically the Gorn scanner that you have, which is a little more
Yeah, my
medically
Gorn
geared?
medical scanner, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I will rule that everybody may attempt scans. The difficulties will be slightly variable depending upon the discipline and like what you are trying to scan. So Tabak, I would presume that you would like reason paired with engineering, correct?
Sure.
Okay. More or less
And
adapting similar rules for that. I am going to rule that there's an this would typically be a difficulty 1 roll, but due to circumstances around both the relative size of these compartments and the instrument being meant more for precision and less so for the range that you are attempting to do, or it's more confined in that sense. I'm going to say that you have a difficulty of 2 for your task.
and seeing as I'm looking for power systems, electroplasma systems as a focus would apply, correct?
Most assuredly. Kresic, just because there is a good bit more. Well, I will say that you can also you can roll for medicine here, because of the relative size, or like with the similar problem as Tabak. There, I will probably also set your task to 2 as well. And
Okay.
even then, it may not give you a full degree of details without spending
Right.
momentum to obtain information.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Mine's definitely more designed for, probably 5 feet or closer for the
Yes.
most detailed scans of things.
Yeah.
It can do generalized stuff, but not as well.
Now, anyone else that wants to conduct a science task may do so. And I think for this, I will actually allow difficulty of 1 for that.
Science and what else?
Or reason would be the other. That would be the attribute that you're using.
Would any of my focuses apply? Paranormal phenomena?
If you're trying to, I mean, are you trying to locate the ghost of something?
No. No.
Could
Ah,
could I apply my survival focus?
I will think very hard about that. Could you give me a bit more justification on employing it? I think would be the first question.
What type of creatures are lurking about?
Mm,
I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
I appreciate the notion, but I don't think it quite works for this.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Could I use... Oh, this should be 2 dice.
Oh, yes, 2 dice there.
Okay.
Even better.
And you were about to say there, Kresic?
Could I use... Because we know that Raldar is... we know that Raldar is missing. Could I use my xenobiology focus? Because I'm particularly trying to search for
For
differentiating life signs. For differentiating life signs.
Yeah.
But
will
my
allow.
question would be, my question for that would be, xenobiology means an alien life form.
Yes, but I know the other life forms. The other life forms are alien.
Yes.
So I'm using it in the inverse way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you now. Yeah.
I think that is a good argument. So yes, by all means, there, Kresic. Okay, so going in order, Tabak, with regard to your task here, um, you are getting a vague sense, at least, that main power, or rather the bulk of the power generation, appears to be coming from the compartment directly ahead of you towards the bow of the ship. Or for your purposes on the map, for the viewers at home here that are looking at this, it would be due north. It is the corridor, it is down the opposite end of the corridor um, that you are standing in. Um, there are junctions that seem to be filtering power there around the other parts of the module. You would guess that there
That does
is,
right.
yeah, you would guess that there is some sort of microfusion reactor working behind there. The compartment is, with so few successes, I don't think that you would get much of an idea about scale there, but from what outside sense readings you have, there's still some bulk behind this, so there could be a good bit there. Um, at the very least, that room is reading as quite hot.
I'm gonna grab on momentum real quick
Ah,
because
yes. Go right
I'm
ahead.
gonna
Yes.
perfect.
So I believe, let's see, going back down the list, uh, Traven, you scored 2 successes on the roll. You are getting a very general readout that suggests more or less that. There are no life signs in the immediate corridors that are accessible. Um, but you said you were basically looking for any sort of biosigns, any remote trace of life without necessarily being able to
Yep.
differentiate. Okay. With the successes that you scored, you at least have the sense that to the starboard bow, or upper right-hand corner, there's a compartment with distinct life signs in that area. Which, Kresic, as you are getting a readout there, does indeed suggest that there are more of those mutants in that area. Probably the bulk of what's left. Otherwise, the other 3 compartments do not show any type of biosigns.
I'm getting a reading on that compartment.
I will also say, with regard to your scanner, Kresic,
Mm-hmm.
you are picking up considerable biosign readings there. Most of it you can discern as being the mutants. There are other unusual readings, nothing that, however, quite works. Nothing that would seem to suggest Raldar's biosigns.
All
There's
right.
a lot of activity in there, and you can't quite peg it out exactly. There are also
All right.
very minor, unusual readings coming from either of the aft compartments to port and starboard.
Excellent.
Or for your
Can
purposes,
I
it would be the lower corner compartments. Sorry to interrupt
can
there.
I ask can I ask a question? That would be a obtain information more than likely.
Yes, you may.
All right. Can my scanner pick up any traces of medical grade components that would indicate one of these rooms is a laboratory?
Mm. I would
Whether
say
that be bio, some kind of compounds that it can pick up or actual equipment itself, something like that.
yes. So first, I will go back and note on your task you did score 3 successes there for the audience, and I believe that it had been a 2 there. So between you and Traven, that was 2 points of momentum that you earned, and with one going to obtain this information here. What you, comparing particularly with Traven's notes, you are detecting signs of like chemicals that would suggest that sort of grade of equipment. Mostly concentrated, at least in terms of chemical readouts, in the port bow compartment or upper left, with some signs of trace elements in the starboard aft compartment as well. There are also unusual signs of some sort of potentially biological readings or chemical readings that are coming from the port, from the port aft compartment. The starboard aft is where you're getting slightly lesser degrees of that, as well as some. Well, yes, that's basically what you're getting there.
Traven, you're getting scans of life signs. Upper right.
Yes, sir. Are you also?
Yes. Several. Captain, that's where they are. I can't get any readings on Raldar, though.
Well, my readings are sporadic, but I think the power source is from the door dead ahead.
It is also possible this place has the necessary components to find a antidote for Azek.
How many you're detecting more of those things in there, though?
More things upper right. Chemical compositions of unknown mass upper left.
Can I take a look at those chemical combinations?
You may. And I will give
I think he was
you.
asking Kresic.
Wait, I'm showing him the readings,
Oh.
and then
Yep.
Traven will roll based off of it.
Yeah.
Yep. Traven, would you prefer to roll and try to like run some sort of insight check, or would you prefer just to like ask a question with the and possibly spend momentum for it? I may give it to you for free, however.
I'm just trying to figure out what the chemical composition is.
Okay. From that, I can tell you there seems to be readings that, while it's hard to say what is specifically there, there are readings that would suggest a full spectrum of different chemicals, ranging from biologics to materials that may be more reactive. I'd say it very much bears the readout of a fully stocked lab.
It's a fully stocked lab.
That's what I need. But we have the problem of the crew that we need to deal with first, I would imagine. Your orders, Captain?
We will tend to the power source first. That might give us better options.
As you will.
So let's head to that door at the end of the corridor, all the way at the end.
Okay.
Azek, get over here.
I move up with.
I presume with a delay or slight degree of distraction.
Oh yeah. At this point, the bulkheads are tripping out, and yeah,
You okay, bud?
I'd go for one of them gawk pockets. I think that would heal me right up.
I don't got those. But do you want a snack? Maybe some water?
Yeah, probably should.
All right.
Isaac, just curious, how do you feel about there not being any gach pockets?
Kind of, normally I'd be a little upset and a little sad, but kind of getting frustrated that maybe getting a little angry.
Hmm. Uh, a little less patient with Traven.
Yes,
You're not turning green, are you?
I don't believe so.
Not as of yet.
I'm not a coward, if that's what you're asking.
No,
Do
I
you,
was making a Hulk reference.
Or seasick.
I was going to say, do you dare to impugn his honor?
No.
All right. So, Isaac, for now, I will say that you definitely feel that increased tempo, or like tempo of emotion, and the slight degree of impatience with Traven and his seeming lack of preparation. But I will allow you to move forward for now. Um, Dekoth will move up and guard the corner. The two of you, you can move in as close as you'd like to that. Tabak, you attempt to access the door, only to realize that there is no panel here for you to attempt, or no control panel for you to interact with.
Okay. Well, there's going to be an access panel
Indeed.
to the machinery.
So go ahead and I will say that you can look for something to pull away and try to engage with this. Please give me an insight and engineering roll. And this one is going to be difficulty of 2.
The dice have failed me so far. I'm going to assume that one of my many ship construction maintenance foci is going to apply.
Most certainly.
Would you like? Never mind.
Well, Tabak, you do at least find the panel to pull away. But once you get past that, that's where things begin to complicate for you. As opposed to a standard manual override system, or something that you would be used to with the hydraulics and um, just being able to brute force the door that way, essentially. There is an unusual set of interlocking clamps, some of which seem powered, vaguely tied in with the systems. It is friggin' weird, and you have no idea what this is all about.
Okay. Can I use my engineering tricorder this time and try to suss it out?
You may.
All right. And that's again going to be reason and engineering, correct?
Correct.
Well, let's see if the dice roller likes me now. Hey.
Okay, well, since you already succeeded at the insight test, or rather, since you scored at least a partial success there, I will allow for those 2 successes to be enough to give you a sense of what's going on here. What appears to be the case, Tabak, is that it seems that there is something very interesting with a locking mechanism going here. As opposed to a standard manual override, it seems as though this mechanism has created a locking system which would allow you to, or rather, which has active power going through it that is, you would guess, being relayed from this section here to the other compartments. Um, you could probably disengage this lock here, however, you would need to partly disengage the power flow. I think that from your best guess, it looks like you would at least need to disengage 3 out of the 4 like inflows from the other compartments, and that is very much where it seems that the EPS, like the way the EPS grid is flowing, it seems like there would be something that you would have to shutter off from the others.
Would that, by any chance, open the other doors?
I think we have to go into the other doors and do something in each of those places in order to open
Okay.
up the primary door. Is that correct?
That is what I meant, yes.
Okay. Oh, okay.
We can't just jump straight to the boss fight. Sorry.
Can I shoot it?
You may certainly try.
I'm losing my patience. So just stick the barrel in and
What does Azek need to roll in order to find Tabok's patience?
Oh dear. I do think that this is a moment as you begin to take aim that an old friend will make its presence known. Ever the short temper.
somebody shut him up.
Captain, are you sure you want to shoot this?
I'm fairly sure I want to shoot something.
You are now firmly in my domain, Captain. I suggest you treat it as such. And with the threatening 5 quality, as you are now firmly within his location, I am going to take I'm going to take threat to reflect that increase.
Ah, very good.
Damn.
You love to see it.
Okay, so it is a pity you shall not leave this place. But perhaps, if you indulge just a little, you might understand what greatness you could have been a part of. What perhaps you could still do.
There is no greatness in butchery.
Cream. Pull the trigger.
Okay, that is going to be control and security. And
I have to roll that from a point blank.
you do, and
Okey-doke.
you have to roll it at a with a complication of a range of 3.
Control and security.
Honestly, I should be honestly at this point, since you're about to fire into something with an active EPS conduit, then that should be the natural complication range.
It should be. Point blank. Like,
Yeah, but
prepare to fly.
everything's powered by electroplasma systems. I mean,
Yes, and shooting an it's perfectly fine to shoot an active power conduit everywhere else. That's not going to send
I'm shooting.
plasma
I'm shooting.
like
I'm shooting,
all.
I'm shooting the lock. I'm shooting the locking mechanism. Damn it. All right. Well,
The locking
that's what I get
mechanism
for
is integrated with the EPS system.
No, that's what I get for being an impetuous Klingon. All right. I'm gonna take one of our
Let's do it.
thingamahoozies there, so I get 3 dice. Let's see if the dice gods like me today. No, they do not.
But
But I have my determination.
well, also there was no
Complications.
there was no complication, which is pretty nifty, honestly.
But yeah, what the hell? I'm gonna use my determination. This damned machine will do as I wish it, and I'm gonna try to re-roll those zeros. Let's see what happens.
Good
3
God.
successes.
The difficulty was?
3.
Well, that was the number of successes, but the GM has actually lost his mind and does not recall what he said for difficulty.
3.
I know you said the
The
I know you said the
complication
complication
range was
range was laughable.
in any case, so Tabok, you managed to fuse a considerable bit of the. You managed to. I'm trying to think of exactly how best to word this here.
I broke it.
Well, you are pretty sure that at least some of the locking mechanism is melted at this point. That may, however, be. You think that you might have just partially damaged one of the mechanisms. However, the others appear to still be intact, and from the look that you're getting with the engineering system, it's going to take quite a bit more to melt the rest of this. Indeed, it may, in order to properly get the job done and disrupt these locks completely, excuse me there, in order to disrupt these locks completely, you would probably need to throw in at least a couple of the thermite grenades, and that will most certainly flood this room with plasma.
Well, that's not going to do anybody any good at that point.
Yeah. The
Corey,
the ethereal figure says, "Are you so set in your ways to ignore what I have done? Do you care not for the? Have you no reverence for the process, nor vision to recognize the what I have made here? Have you no questions with regard to your pet?"
I have nothing to ask you. And now I'm gonna. If I didn't get the door, now I'm looking for the hollow emitter. If I have to use the tricorder, I'm gonna use the tricorder.
If you truly wish to go forward, I will not stop you. But know that I shall meet your force in kind. You may
As the
decide.
guy,
Tell me, Tabak, do you wish to take him up on his offer?
I'm ignoring him more or less. Like I said, I'm trying to find the hollow emitter that this projection is coming from.
Well, allow me to. I will go a little above board in order to make clear the circumstance. Do you wish to. Or would you like to essentially go into this? If he were to offer to go into this room, then you may do so. Basically, skip engagement with the other rooms. This will be at the cost of quite considerable threat.
We just don't have a lot of momentum going. Right? Didn't I pick up another momentum after that roll?
No, because you said the difficulty was 3.
Yes.
And you just met it.
Feed that. Okay.
And I don't have a lot of threats, so I'd say that we're on pretty even ground.
At the moment. Basically,
Make the choice, Captain.
Basically, what the GM is telling me is we have to go everywhere else before we get to here. So,
or we skip to the boss fight.
or we skip to the boss fight. Okay, so meta conversation out of character. Do we want to just skip to the good part, or do we want to satisfy the GM and not let him think that he
I
did all that
mean,
work for these other rooms for no reason?
Oh, I'm
we
very
should at least
satisfied either way.
we should at least visit a couple of the rooms. We did manage to reduce the need from 3 of them down to 2 of them.
So yeah, let's not go to the room full of the bad guys just yet then. But I'm
All
still
right.
going to find the hollow emitter that this guy is being projected from.
Mm.
Azek is going to go over while the holographic man is talking and start putting his hand like through him, kind of like this is trippy.
Wow, dude. All right, so yeah, I'm looking for that damned hollow emitter. Again, if I got to use the tricorder and narrow it down, I will, and then I'm going to shoot it. Assuming it's not hiding amongst the EPS conduits.
Uh, I will give that one to you for free. You are detecting signs of innumerable hollow emitters in this room. It seems as though some projectors are less hardened, while others are more so. This compartment seems to be built very much to allow this presence, this hologram, whatever drives this thing, very free reign.
Just looking at it without taking too much more time than I need, can I just set up a tricorder to just create an interference pattern?
I will allow you to do precisely that. Let's call this a daring and engineering roll, and let's see. I think that this would basically be considered the create an advantage type setup. So let's call this difficulty 2.
Okie dokie. So it's a hologram. Don't know if it's a hard hologram or simply just the image. But
Well,
electroplasma.
since Azek's hand can go through this, it is soft light.
Yeah, but is he actually putting his hand through it, or is he imagining he's putting his missing hand through it?
He is putting his real hand through it.
But one of my focuses should still apply. Yes, like even just electroplasma systems, or no?
Um, I don't think that would quite work. You're just
Then no.
basically you're doing something improvised with a hand scanner. That is one and a
Beautiful.
complication. You love to see it, folks. So that does not meet the difficulty of 2.
Nope.
It also means that there is a complication on the board. Tabak, you have 3 choices. You may, of course, you may buy off rather the complication with 2 points of momentum. You may give the GM points of threat, or you may
2.
accept a narrative complication.
2
And yes,
points of threat.
yes.
Okay. Have some threat.
The GM accepts your threat.
No, that's not. I'm not threatening the GM.
The GM will
But I
remember
still
this.
did not open the dang or turn it all off.
Yeah. You attempt to create a slight bit of interference. You maybe you are generating some sort of EM field, which is creating a slight bit of static. His voice is maybe coming through less clearly, but the program very quickly compensates for it.
He goes down from 1080 to 720.
Yep.
The frame rate drops a little bit.
He goes back into his settings though and adjusts his streaming, and your ghost continues to haunt you.
Good shit. All right. And then let's pick a door, not the door with all the bad guys behind it.
I need the lab.
That's the one with all of the creatures, yes?
No. It's the one on the opposite side.
Then that's where we go.
Good.
That's this door, right? Right. Oh, that's not. Down here we go.
Okay.
Azik, stop playing with that thing and get over here.
Okay. Let's see. Real quick, everybody. I have something very momentarily coming up. I need to tend to this real quick. So would everybody be up for just a quick 5-minute break?
Sure, that's fine.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
may come back within that time. So everybody here, for those catching this in the archive, this bit will be edited out. You will have no worry. For those in the stream, I am going ahead and just moving us to a small little intermission screen. And we will be back very shortly. Grab some snacks, do what you need to, and we'll rejoin momentarily.
Somebody play intermission music.
Do not
Raldar, we're relying on you. Your soundboard powers.
There is a song where it's literally the GM is away, please stand by. I don't know if anybody's heard it before.
Be back in just one moment, everybody. All right, coming back here, and all right, we are at least back here. Quick check around every.
I never left.
Spectacular.
Isaac's still here.
I'm good.
Okay, looks like.
Kresnik's still away.
Yep, looks like the good
Bubble
doctor's
boy.
away for a moment. Oh, and Caligo, just for the intervening time, would you be interested in Decoth, just since we haven't gotten to things with unraveling that one particular question just yet?
You broke up a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry about that. Am I coming through clearer now?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to make the offer. Since Raldar's unavailable, would you, or rather for the moment, would you be interested in playing around with Decoth for now?
I could.
All right.
To cough.
Yeah. The Klingon bodyguard, who may not know his right from his left.
He's trying.
He's very trying.
Trying to nab a quick frozen pizza. So
Fair enough. Well, if you need a moment, then go ahead and do that and get ready. And while I'm there, I will talk to the stream. We can all talk to the stream. Hello. Hope everybody's having a good evening so far. It is a Wednesday evening for us here, at least for the GM over on here in Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you're having a nice one. Let's see, we are just getting back from a very quick break here. I believe waiting on our ship's doctor and the well, let's see. I think that they were. I have lost my train of thought. Very good. Yeah, we're just waiting for one player to get back, and then we will resume properly. So until then, yes, just the
I lose
quick.
my train of thought often. People often say I have a one-track mind, but it's not that. It's just that it's a monorail.
That joke. Speaking of monorail, did anybody see the last Simpsons Halloween special?
No.
Only the interesting part.
They did a
An
Westworld
interesting
spoof that
part?
was quite good. I would actually recommend that.
Mm. I haven't watched Westworld, so
Oh. Well, you don't really need to know about it in order to appreciate the joke.
Mm.
Also,
Were they making a Westworld reference to the new TV show or the old movie?
I'm fairly certain it was more so, at least to the newer show, but it is chocked full of plenty of Simpsons reference to otherwise be quite amusing. In any case, I would like to point out one very small detail for those viewers that are here. This bit will, in all likelihood, be cut out of the main video just because I don't obviously want to take up too much time for the archive, or this isn't strictly essential. But you get the stream exclusive notice that the visual screen here is the one that always has a torpedo coming towards the screen. Just right there. I
Oh,
believe
right by the word by the N in intermission.
yes. That is a photon torpedo, which I believe I took the image from. This is a still from the
Star
Undiscovered
Trek 6.
Country. Yeah, Star Trek 6.
Yep.
So a cloaked bird of prey is about to have a very bad day because the Enterprise happened
Because
to
it's got to
be.
have a tailpipe.
Yep, and the Enterprise has been surveying a lot of gaseous anomalies.
Apparently, a lot of Starfleet ships have been scanning the gaseous anomalies because that was what Sulu's ship was supposed to be doing in his log entry at the beginning of the movie.
Yep. I think that from what I heard, the original idea was for the Excelsior to actually conduct that plan and have a little intrepid moment. Um, but
Yeah,
Shatner
but it was
insisted,
still,
yeah,
yep.
Shatner insisted that the Enterprise needed to save itself, so it also had that equipment, and nobody ever thought to reshoot the line and say that the Excelsior conducting a was conducting a mission as part of a fleet-wide survey of gaseous anomalies.
Yeah, yeah. They just wanted to find a gaseous anomaly. They just have to look in Bill Shatner's closet.
Indeed.
He's a gaseous anomaly. Did you read the? Did you see the article where it's what was it? George Takei and had said a lot of things about the relationship with Bill Shatner, and apparently today Bill Shatner went off on everybody who had bad things to say about him.
I didn't hear
Cranky
that.
old man screams at the sky because he's upset.
Old man yells at cloud. More at 11.
Yeah, basically. We'll take it back to the Simpsons reference.
Yes. Fitting. Although we are taking slightly more time just while the good doctor reconnects here. There's some slight technical issues on their end as well, so it's never fun, but it does happen. That's the perils of going live here.
Perils of the internet.
Yes.
Technology is all grand, but when you rely on it too much.
Indeed. Let's see here.
And I'm back. So sorry about that.
Hey, there you go. Welcome back aboard. And I think that we have everyone else. Just to check, Caligo, are you also here?
yes.
Good. And while we are at least off recording, or rather in the time that I will edit out, I will allow for public clarification. Am I pronouncing that incorrectly? Because I have done so many a times, and I can never remember how properly to do so.
What incorrectly?
Caligo.
Oh.
Or the online moniker.
Oh, you're saying pronouncing that right?
I was concerned as to whether I was pronouncing it incorrectly or not.
Caligo is the correct pronunciation.
Okay, spectacular. In that case, I feel much less bad, and we can resume here. So, all right, thanks for everybody sticking through for just a moment. We'll get back off the intermission and, yes, take one more look at the torpedo before it goes away. Let's see. So, yes, we were, I believe, when last excuse me. Okay, so we are back and we are rejoining our crew, who upon our initial who when we last left off had attempted to simply burn their way through the through a locking mechanism to access a major power distribution site, while Tabok may have Tabok was unable to at least rather, he lost patience for going through whatever the ghost wanted him to do, as everyone knows it for now. So he merely attempted to just blast his way into the object here, and it partially melted one lock. So I'll say that's enough probably to at least narrow it down to 2 rooms, but it took such power as to make it impractical to actually like make that the try to do that for all of them. Rather, you were given the choice actually if you just wanted to skip that challenge, then you could very simply go into the room with some extra threat being taken. I believe Tabok opted instead, however, to circle around and take advantage of what was access to the other rooms in the hopes of trying to find some other advantages, or as Kresic was saying, to locate medical supplies that might help cure Azik here. So, where were we thinking of attempting to go first?
The door that we're all standing in front of.
Yes, the happy door.
The upper left door?
Correct.
Yes.
That one. Ding.
So, you move to traverse the compartment, and what the... Sorry, I'm just trying to work out what's going on with this. Oh dear. Sorry, something was glitching out there, and it does not want to... Well, drat, it doesn't want to load up the room there for some reason. While I'm trying to figure this out, I guess I will momentarily take us to Theater of the Mind just to allow the crew an opportunity to advance and continue on with the narrative. I will attempt to figure this out en route here, so apologies for that, guys.
No worries.
So, the 5 of you, as Woe has been left behind in order to move forward, move up to the door. While no panel exists to allow you passage, the door simply opens up ahead of you, seemingly inviting you in.
That's comforting. I walk in.
Yeah. It's not like I want to
Azik
stop
follows.
you.
Okay. Everybody else going in then too?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to.
Okay. So the room is, if anything, it feels very the first thing I would describe this as very much lived in. in the sense that, well, for one, it is obviously your sensors had indicated that it was that there were signs of biological and chemical materials that would indicate a laboratory setup. And that is indeed very much the case. There appear to be numerous sort of shelves, compartments, and other bits of machinery which would comport with a laboratory, as well as several tables, consoles, just filled with compounds and other bits of equipment, just all strewn about. It seems as though somebody might have lived here at one time as well, with various effects, uh, like chairs uh, that would be chairs that would be non-standard, signs perhaps of old bottles and residual bits of food, or at least plating that would suggest it, pads and other general bits of mess and chaos that would suggest a place of quite. This place has been very actively, or like someone had very obviously spent a lot of time working in here. Um, they obviously haven't been here in a very long time, however. Um, the air like while everything here seems to be kicked up in terms of life support, there aren't signs of any active use. I would say that dust might have made sense here, except for the fact that uh, there likely hasn't been anything in this room to shed dust in some time. Uh, so yeah, I would also say that while everything is mostly well arranged, it looks as though there are a few vials in places, or other bits of machinery, things that are stacked in slightly more precarious ways. You imagine that either they had been, either somebody had been just exceptionally messy beforehand, or perhaps that uh, at some point the ship could have been buffeted or something, and nobody has been in here to correct it.
I'm gonna drop all my equipment and start getting a station set up for Kresic.
I am going to spend my determination to create an advantage.
What advantage is this?
I'm going to spend the determination using the value I am the product of my achievements to create the advantage of familiar territory. Because all of this is very similar to labs that I used to work and live in the past.
I like this advantage here. So unless you are referring to anything specific with the book, I imagine this would just give you, make it easier for you to locate certain objects, or have a good enough quick assessment of the materials around you in order to quickly find what you are looking for.
Yeah, find what I'm looking for, like, know what all this stuff does, even though it's not necessarily, it's not Gorn standard. I know what this stuff should be in here. So basically, I think the functionality would be decreasing the difficulty of checks around here by 1, right?
Yes, that would
Perfect.
absolutely apply in this case. All right. So, Kresic, you begin moving around to look through this, and Traven, you are trying to, I guess, clear off a space here. Is anybody else actively looking to do something here?
Yes, I am actively trying not to touch things.
was very good. Azik,
The Klingon
any?
equivalent of putting my hands in my pockets. But not
Yeah,
really.
I'm just kind of just observing what's going on and still dealing with the sensory inputs.
Yes, yes.
So I would like to search here for any kind of notes, records, anything that the previous occupant here left behind that could help me.
Okay, so go ahead and give me just a quick insight and let's call this medicine here with a difficulty of 2, just to take a quick look around.
Reduced by 1, or is that the reduced difficulty?
No, I'll reduce that by 1 to reflect the advantage. So yeah, go ahead.
Any focuses? Probably not, right? Paranormal phenomena?
I
No.
will actually give you that.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Was not expecting that. Okay, rolling. 1 success.
Okay, and let's see. That was insight and medicine here. Try this one. An ethereal hand momentarily passes over the console, gesturing to one of the pads. It is not without power.
I pick it up.
And before you, Kresic, as you begin to access it, sure enough, the pad does come online. It seems as though there are some active files on the pad, including at least one video log.
Let's start with that.
You do so, and you see an old Klingon, a very old Klingon, a Kuhah by the look of it, dressed in very familiar wear. Um, One that you have seen, but not in this vividly opaque form, I should say, suppose. Current trials the of the new biotechnology are currently inconclusive. Oh, when the house when my house tasked me to perform these duties, I had hoped for more complete facilities. Alas, uh, House Grell, as much as they can command, they don't yet see the merit in these new soldiers. This new notion. Oh, but with a bit of success, I may yet give them, allow them to share in my vision and some hope. He goes into a bit of a coughing fit before reaching for some goblet off screen.
Probably some apple cider to ease the voice.
In his case, blood wine. In my case, I really should make some tea for this voice. Alas, I don't know that I will be able to share that vision with them. On the plus side, my other contingency remains in effect. The neural grafting is very nearly complete, and if the autonomous function works properly, then I will I will live on to see this in a different way, and some of these crew might as well. They shall be better. And with that, the fragment cuts out.
All right. I am going to search those other files looking for any information about the methods that he's using.
Okay. So, let's see here. I will say, Kresic, that here, I will go ahead and give you freely with the successes you have here. And I should say, because of the earlier help from that ghost, you do get a point of momentum. Um, but I think
Wow.
that I do think since this was him rolling here, I'm going to elect to immediately use that for you to just obtain this information. So
Absolutely fair.
the GM giveth and the GM taketh away.
Absolutely fair. I like it.
The files seem to guide you to what is effectively an engineering technique very similar to what the original Kuvat virus operated under. Whereas this had previously demonstrated signs of, or whereas the original Kuvat virus, as your like the very beginnings of your research would suggest, had some unfamiliar genetic material. Since you are just at the start of this, and I don't imagine the Klingons are terribly willing to share, I guess I'll leave that to you. Would you have, in interacting with Kohach, do you think that you would have looked very firmly into the origins?
Probably not,
Okay.
because I'd imagine I primarily dealt with Kuha beforehand. So I
That's
probably didn't. Only recently did I probably find out that there's different types of Klingons.
yeah. So I would say that what is vaguely known is that whatever the origins of this virus, there obviously would have had to have been some other bizarre introduction of genetic material, something especially aggressive that transported it. One could guess like the equivalent of a flu virus or something of that in its capacity, as well as some material that partially like rewrote or otherwise affected the Klingon genome in order to create such pronounced manifestation. Um, it is at least known that there would have been some sort of past affliction, and that that is probably about the extent of what you would have to start with. But they don't otherwise talk about it much with outsiders. Um, this seemed to operate on a very similar principle, but there are signs of other genetic material um, that are alluded to here. I'd say that from what you are getting readouts of, there are technical designations here. Something that you wouldn't be surprised as identifying something to do with species, but they are Klingon designations, so you don't immediately recognize what precisely they are referring to. You could attempt an insight check on that if you so wished.
Sure.
Okay. Insight and medicine, difficulty 2. Also, Traven, while you are clearing that space there, I'm going to ask you, organizing this, let's call this control and science on your part. Difficulty 1, I'm spending a point of threat to increase your complication range, however.
Could I use my chemistry focus?
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, and it is a good thing I did not spend that threat for you, Kresic, because you
Yeah.
rolled one of those dice was a 0 or rather, it was a failure, which would have been a 19 that could have been a critical failure. It was not in this case, however. But with only a single success, you can only guess that these are different sort of species names, so kind of similar to how like the type of naming conventions that identify, different species, genus, that sort of thing for.
It's the vernacular names basically, or
Yes,
the Klingon genus and species. Whereas I'd be dealing with
precisely. So this basically covers animal and plant life here. Um,
Okay.
you don't know exactly what types of flora and fauna, but you can guess that uh, this might be the very general sort of thing. There are signs that at least the material, well, I'd say it probably pulls a bit from both. You recognize just enough to know that, but otherwise you don't recognize much more. And Traven, that control and science roll, please, with a difficulty of 1 and a complication range that has been increased to 2.
If I do this well, would it make it easier for Kresic to make a cure?
It might. It would at least generate more momentum for you.
Okay. I would like to use a point of determination before I roll, using my helping hands value.
Go right ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and use the perfect opportunity and get an automatic critical success.
Okay. Just to double check there, uh, oh yeah, the value was helping hands. Got it. Okay, so that would be the automatic crit then.
Yes.
Okay, so automatic 2 successes. I will still ask you to roll. Oh, 4 successes there. So yeah,
3 momentum, right?
yep. Let you go ahead and grab that. Uh, but yeah, with this Kresic, you have a better sense of sort of the virus's internal makeup or pathogen. I suppose it is fair to say it is much more likely a virus. With this readout, uh, you're not certain that the equipment here would precisely be enough to. Well, you're not certain how potent some of the chemicals in here would be, some of the requisite runs, as far as helping as it goes, but you have information that does go a partial way at least towards helping to devise a cure. Certainly, with this information, it would be more helpful, and you could anything you're not certain of in terms of like the viral components, you could probably find in the ship's database.
Mutation of pre-existing species is inelegant, but effective.
They were better. The progress was undeniable.
Captain, there's something here that you need to take care of. Some lock or some such.
Do you have a cabinet you cannot open?
Out of character. Don't you have something you have to do to like trigger one of these locks to open into the main room?
Yeah, there's basically part of the mechanism.
Is in this room.
That
Oh,
was the whole reason to incentivize you to visit the
yeah,
other
yep.
rooms.
My apologies. Yeah, let me find out where that is.
All good. As you look around, the figure simply passes by by one of the walls and gives a gesture with a strange grin to his face.
All right. Well, I whip out the tricorder. I'm ignoring the holographic ghost.
Yeah,
Tricorder is probably going to tell me what I need to find is behind that in particular wall panel.
it is indeed there. And Dekoth will go forward to pull away the panel. You basically have something very similar to think the sort of first contact type mechanism. The the sort of manual release that you have to with an appropriately Klingon aesthetic, something that you would have to twist and insert. That very similar to that magnetic interlock, basically.
Right. So, do I need to roll anything for that, or can I simply do it?
I will allow you to just perform the action.
All right. Insert and twist.
All right. Yep.
Hmm.
Insert between the eyes and twist. All right. And with that, there are sounds of like machinery grinding and clanking. And with that, any trace of the ghostly figure disappears. Kresic, with one final note on the visual log, the sequence does indeed, or the video log does indeed refer to the name of the individual you
Yep.
saw.
Yep.
The Tar
I
of
know
the House
exactly
of
who it
Grill.
is. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What have you learned, Kresic?
It is a mutative virus designed to attack Klingons and transform them into weapons.
Oh,
Woohoo! I get to be a weapon. Yay!
Shut
Did you
up.
see the things that attacked you? You want to become like them?
Well, you never know when the captain might need a weapon like that.
I need a pilot. Those things are too stupid to pilot. Can you fix him?
I have an idea of it. I will need. GM, what do I still need?
At this point, I'd say this information provides you a lot of the core elements you probably you need to effectively or essentially synthesize something from compounds you think would be more responsive to this type of virus. Suppose the one more the next most useful thing might be further insight to the materials used here. You might be, or like the specific biological materials. Some of that may, like what basically they use to alter the genes beyond the virus itself. The
Gotcha.
ship's computer may be able to cover that, but there could possibly be something in the ship that helps out.
I know the carrier, the virus itself. I need to know what was spliced in to the virus that is allowing this mutation to happen so rapidly and extremely.
Can you download the files?
I have the files on this data pad given to me by the Phantom.
Ugh.
I am every bit as unhappy with this as you are, Captain. More so than you could know.
Well, let us. Well, now we have to go into the room full of all the former crew.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, actually.
Yeah.
Captain, if we have power in this area, right?
Yes.
Can we reroute some of this to the transporter?
And do what?
I want to get over to the Yan.
We will get there eventually.
But
What do you need from the Yan?
the transporter takes things apart and puts it back together, right?
At its most basic, yes.
Can't you just transport over the stuff that you want and leave out the bits that you don't want?
To what are you referring?
Well, you said I got this virus thingy in me. So if we use the transporter, it takes me apart and then puts me back together at the Yan.
You want some sort of biological filter?
Don't be ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a silly idea. This is why I'm a pilot, not an engineer. Sorry.
But now you have given me an idea. Now I'm going to have to work on that. Damn you. It's fine. Let's find the other portion of this locking mechanism.
Let's keep looking.
Okay, so you move back out into the main hallway.
I pocket the data pad that they gave. That was pointed out to me as well. I take that with me.
Were there any other files here that you could access on computer systems? Or is everything, are you sure everything is on that data pad?
There were only a partial, there were partial files that were on there, some of which proved helpful. I would say if you attempted to access anything immediately beyond that pad, then there was nothing else that was particularly helpful.
Nothing was particularly useful. Yeah, it was like today I woke up and ate breakfast. It was a great breakfast. My therapist told me I need to keep this log because I am a mad scientist. Something like that probably is what it said.
All right, so we move on. Which other door do we have to get into now?
Any of them. Head down this way. Head down.
Head what? We need the starboard
Straight
aft
down?
door?
Well, there's a port aft door too.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
You can go
We're
either
right there.
here.
We're right there.
Or
might
Yeah,
as
well,
well.
fine. We're right there on the port side. Might as well check that door.
Okay. The door opens and there's very slight visual representation. I'll give you that. The rest for description here, but let's go ahead and move you guys down here. Yes. You make your way through the room. Initially, the door opens again, as inviting as it had previously been. This one is much darker. I suppose I should actually ask,
literally dark.
do you choose to enter the room without being able to see anything there?
Well, it's a good thing that our
Are you saying
cook
we
has
don't
a
have
flashlight.
somebody's got a
Cook said he
flashlight?
had a flashlight.
Traven did have a flashlight, yes.
I can't see in the dark.
So,
Shame.
Hell, Klingon ships are practically dark for you anyway.
You shine your flashlight, and as you walk forward, Traven, it catches a glint of some sort of material that is a bit reflective. Translucent, actually.
Okay.
Are we supposed to be seeing anything?
I'm about to make things visible
Okay.
here.
Okay. I should try to make sure.
Yeah,
I hand my flashlight to Dekoth.
Dekoth will take it, and he will move in, Disruptor in the other hand. These tanks of some sort. Oh, Gosha! As he moves close to one of them, the room illuminates, and this is a very basic sense of what's going on, but a better description for what you are exposed to here would be that the tanks illuminate, and with them a few lights in the room as well, and that, oh dear, they actually aren't visible. Let's fix that there. It seems I built everything in the GM layer.
Oops.
Yeah, my bad.
Layers are your friends.
Or did I put them in the map? What is going on here?
Foolish
Oh,
For those of you in the stream, we are experiencing technical difficulties.
there we go. That's better. There are several of these sort of tall, very sort of gothic, like rails with a very gothic styling, but very tall sort of tanks of sorts, and in them reside all manner of creatures. somewhat preserved, although seeming in some cases to have been at least partly degraded. There are some that seem to bear arachnid-like creatures. At least one that seems to bear what is at least part of, I would say, the head of some creature that would look more comfortable out in the seas, possibly a long eel or serpent-like creature. There's at least the remnants of one more ursine creature, at least something vaguely ursine or bear-shaped, but with what would appear to be thick natural armor plates. This is a veritable menagerie of just absolutely horrific creatures.
None of them are alive.
No, none of them are alive.
Okay, so we're just basically looking at really big tanks filled with the Klingon equivalent of formaldehyde and dead critters stuffed in barrels.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this very likely Kresik is will provide you another vital clue.
Mm-hmm. What's that thing in the center?
That was going to be my question.
Yeah. That device appears to. So partly it appears to be a console, but it also you notice that rather the device in the center of the room appears to have some consoles on it, but it also appears to have an unusual set of like there's an interesting mechanism near its center that seems to have all manner of other sort of vials and small chambers of some sort. It is momentarily unpowered. Do you choose to approach it?
Does it
Yep.
look like a computer system, or a
It's an incubation
work table?
chamber.
I would say it looks like something of both here.
I walk right over to it.
I do a quick scan of it.
Well, Tabak, as you begin your scan, which, if you want momentum, reason, and engineering difficulty 1, I can tell you the one thing that you'll be able to pick up for certain, it is powering up as Kresik walks over. Yeah, anything that you want to ask of it? Or ask about it?
Me? No. Just making. Well, yes, actually. Does it have any? What I'm looking for here. Does it have any data storage in it?
It doesn't appear to. It is being fed information from elsewhere.
So it's collating the data?
So it would seem, yes. Speaking of data, a very familiar figure manifests opposite the console from you, Kresik. No ordinary material would do for what I needed, and for what we deserved.
So this is where it was made.
This gave us some of the raw material. Go ahead and conduct one more, either insight or reason and medicine here.
I'll take reason. Xenobiology or infectious diseases would work.
Xenobiology would definitely apply.
Excellent. Difficulty?
Difficulty on this, I will say, is 2.
Mind if I take a momentum?
Go ahead. Does any of this does this technology all look Klingon?
There are definitely some components here that are not standard. But there's definite a lot of it does bear signs of some like degree of customization, some fairly advanced biotechnology in terms of Klingon work.
Oh
Yeah.
So it definitely does look like Klingon technology, except it's
With
very high end.
maybe a few appropriated bits of technology could have come here from here and there. I don't know if the house has been mentioned to you at this point, Tabak. Um, but yeah, certainly Klingons as a general principle are not above absconding with bits of technology here and there.
Yeah,
Mostly it is theirs. Yeah.
right. So it's mostly Klingon. Do I recognize any of the little bits?
I don't think you would.
Okay.
Only the best would do, and to restore our truest image, to build on what was truly better. I drew from only the finest of what our home had to offer, what other elements from our worlds had to offer. Um, Kresic, what is pretty clear at this point is that um, the raw materials here are drawn from like as you begin conducting scans and using the console. I'll say first and foremost, you are getting the immediate sense that a lot of the information you are getting is being very highly curated as it streams forward. This is not something that was just stored in the console left from original work.
No, this is being given to me.
Yes.
He's showing
This
off.
this is
He's showing off his work.
Absolutely. This is a statement. One scientist to another here of a particular ilk, let's just say. In any case, the material does appear to draw from a lot of different animal and plant life. Much of it seems to be indigenous from Kronos, although there are some that are alluded to from other colonies. You could guess at their origin as well. The material here, I would say it is like you have a pretty good sense now of exactly the types of genetic material that are being employed and a pretty good sense of what was grafted here. You could guess this room basically stored a library of a lot of those materials, some that were used in exceptional quantities, as indicated by the strange menagerie, and others that were there are probably dozens of like smaller types of containers that.
Yeah, that were basically just like seasoning, if you will.
Yes.
The salt and pepper to the beef bourguignon.
Yes. So this gives you a good bit more to advance here. You could start definitely getting the components of the virus here. From here, this goes a very good way towards helping you to develop a cure for the virus, at least as far as it goes. I would I would go so far as to say, like I would say that you have a good sense of those materials at this point. There are probably a few more specifics or like active readouts of, say, how the virus actually progresses through a full host. Um, that would only be the sort of thing that you either get in horrifying real time if you let ASIC succumb to this, or
from the final stage.
Yeah. And as soon as you feel like you have a good sense of what's going on, or like the materials there, I guess, would you give any sort of visual cue to the direction of the ghost?
I'm looking at all of this, scanning it all, entering in information. And then I just look up to this phantom.
The computer function dies instantly. You have you have gained some insight. You're seeing what I've achieved. What could be done?
I see nothing but a mockery of good sense and a waste of a brilliant mind.
He momentarily goes to just absolute static. You have no sense of vision, Hannibal. He turns to you, Tabak. You wish to come to the sanctum. You wish to get to the center. You have any desire to learn the full truth of it all. To find anything that you may come right as soon as you wish. See the truth in all its glory. See the majesty of my vision. But if you cannot recognize its greatness, then I will divert you no further. And with that, he just flits out. Tabak, you do hear a similar bit of grinding, as if the mechanism that you had triggered in the other room intentionally just seems to have activated of its own accord. This being has lost patience.
Yes, apparently it has. Find the panel and find the mechanism itself, and make sure it can't lock behind us.
Yep. It is indeed set up in such a way as to. It is indeed set up in such a way that you are certain that you could safely depart. Or rather, the mechanism appears to have been automatically triggered. Like everything save for the switch itself has effectively been turned at this point. But yeah, I will say you do the manual bit anyway, just to make sure that it does stay locked in place.
Okay.
So,
Well, we have been invited.
Let's end this.
Party!
let's see. As the five of you move outside and start. Apparently, all of those are in the token layer, so I'll just ask you guys to move your tokens up here. Isaac, if you can grab yours too. Thank you. Okay. The door opens. The door at the main area of the corridor. The locks from the exposed panel. It is all disengaged now, so you are able to proceed. Is there anything you wish to do before walking up?
Disruptor in hand, Mechlith in the other hand, look in the doorway.
Okay. Before you is by far the warmest of the rooms. There appear to be it appears to be a longer compartment, one with a considerable number of one that's a good bit longer than the others, first and foremost. It also seems that before each of them there seem to be four main pillar-like objects. And at the far end, there is a computer access console.
The pillars. They look structural?
They look like they might have some sort of function. You would guess they might they might have some sort of engineering. They might be some components of a reactor or some sort
Ah,
of power generation system, but you can't say for certain. It wouldn't make sense for a design such as this to have something like that, or rather, for it to be structural for a vacuum type thing.
okay. Are they hexagonal in shape?
They are more cylindrical.
Hmm. Klingons don't like changing things. Klingon engineers. Uh, fusion reactors for Klingons are typically hexagonal in cross section. So I'm going to have to go into something that it's either alien tech or not a fusion reactor.
Uh, the design here is certainly unusual. But anyway, do you?
Kresic, I don't have a hand for you at the moment. Kresic,
Yes.
is there anything alive in there?
Scan it.
I'll go ahead and give you. There is nothing in here alive.
No life signs.
Let's go.
In we go.
Okay.
Can I do something weird?
What's that?
Oh, wait.
I grab a snack and I throw it through this. I just throw it across the hall. I just
The
want to see what
hall
happens when it
Yeah,
crosses
or into the room.
into the room. I want to see what happens when it crosses the pillars.
Nothing happens to the snack right away. But yeah, it just kind of falls to the side. Out of curiosity, what type of snack is this? Just for flavor, if you will.
Rations.
Oh yeah, nothing's happening to that shit.
When he
That
pulls
was
out,
an interesting qualifier, however, when you said nothing happens to it right away.
Well, the pillars do not react.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
when he pulls it out, do I recognize that it's just rations, or does it look, because of my extra sensory stuff, does it look rather gawk pockety?
Let me check my notes here. Actually, give me command and reason with a with a natural increase to your complication range of 2.
Oh, the cylinders are horizontal, not vertical.
They are meant to be vertical.
Oh,
It
okay.
is just there are limitations of what I can do in this engine, and I want to very clearly define the shape for everybody.
You said reason and what?
Reason and command.
Are we supposed to see Raldar's token?
Oh, is Raldar's token? Raldar's token is there. Well, that was clearly left behind. So what? Yeah. That being said, yeah, the 5 of you step inside the room, and yeah, before the uh, at the end there is oh dear, this should also be. Why is it not manifesting? Okay, contrary to the lack of vision there is a computer console, which is the image is now glitching out for that. I will try to find a replacement as we go. But yeah, the pillars otherwise seem they don't seem to react to your presence as you enter in. Azek, I will say that you have trouble distinguishing what exactly the snack is, and you're finding you're finding it very difficult to focus.
I leap after it.
Okay.
thinking that it's a gawk pocket, and Traven's been holding out on me.
You reach for it, and you're disappointed to find that it is just a very basic, sparsely edible ration.
Aw.
Once again, Traven's incompetence is absolutely enraging.
Hint, 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 hint.
Yeah, Azek is glaring at Traven at the moment.
As he stares daggers into you.
Traven's a Klingon, right?
Traven is a Trill.
Oh, never. That wouldn't work then.
Okay, I apologize for the less than Klingon computer setup here. It was replaced at the last minute and with great expense.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is indeed a Monty Python and the Holy Grail reference to very much to the opening credit sequence. Not so many llamas here.
Oh, that's good.
Yep.
I was hoping we wouldn't meet Murray, the one llama.
Yep. So, what do you aim to do next?
Sheathe the mechleth, and pull out the tricorder.
Okay, one quick reason and engineering roll, and the difficulty on this is going to be 3.
The dice have not liked me tonight.
No. Is anyone else doing something while Tabak takes a quick scan?
Now, again, my focus is, as far as ship stuff goes, ship shields, ship weapons, warp core electroplasma systems, and xenotechnology. Would any sufficiently advanced Klingon technology count as xenotechnology?
I think so. This is definitely a more unusual design or arrangement, and the EPS systems definitely count for this, since this area relates to power generation.
Cool. Oh, okay. So I'm going to take a momentum too, please. 3 dice, and hopefully I don't flub this one like I have all the other die rolls tonight.
Thank you there, Krasik.
Blam. Woohoo!
All right, so that'll earn you back that point of momentum. Feel free to draw there. Tabak, this last bit of the compartment here, or rather, this is probably going into a separate container. This area that you're standing in, I'd say probably first off, just as a relative height, there's a bit more clearance for this. Like I'd say you are probably close to. This is a little bit more spacious of a chamber compared to the ceiling. Like I'd say that Woe could actually stand in here comfortably and still have a few feet to play with.
So almost a full 3 meters or 4 meters in height.
Yeah. It would very nearly. It almost justifies it being like a second deck, just to give you guys a sense of scale. But the compartment extends a ways downwards, and the arrangement is very unusual. It seems as though several critical systems are nestled beneath the deck plating here. What appears to be a sort of fusion reactor of experimental design, you would say, in some senses. It appears as though it was not complete. Like it is. The components jutting out appear to be some sort of stabilization components for the magnetic field. You actually note that there are signs that there are limited quantities of antimatter there, which lends itself to the idea that this might be meant, or the fields might be in part meant to help spike the fusion reactors every so often and give them a little extra boost. Something which was generally only done for very old, primitive warp engine designs.
Okay.
but if properly controlled, would also allow for a very long-running fusion reactor to get a little bit of extra juice over a long period if with the proper storage capacity. There's certainly quite a bit of that. It also appears as though with considerable shielding, the a computing unit of sorts is lodged here, something of quite considerable sophistication and definitely something that would have been experimental. It's probably a little bulkier than something that would be built today, but the readings suggest that the processing power here is it could still be fairly cutting edge, even some
Okay.
30 years
Can
on.
I get detailed scans?
Not terribly because of the shielding. It is because of the arrangement of these parts, which is very unusual to have the critical systems so close together. They took some extra precautions, and whatever obscuring material is jamming your readouts here is making it difficult to get a precise nature of the designs.
All
But
right.
you have that
So
vague
basically,
sense.
under the grating in the floor, we've got multiple fusion reactors, a computer core, and an antimatter jump start for the fusion reactors.
Precisely.
What's in the pillars?
The pillars appear to be a part of the reactor, something that is meant to supplement those. What you would guess is like they supplement the containment field of a sort. They appear to have some sort of like there's some sort of conduit that's meant to stabilize them, near as a readout as you can get. Or like it's something that would essentially help stabilize the containment fields for the modified fusion reactors. Uh, Near as you can guess, the readouts suggest that they are probably somewhat fragile. So they logically they're this is basically this is meant to be shielding against any sort of wear and tear as well as any sort of hazards with regard to anything that would happen aboard a ship or like lab accident type thing.
Okay, so they're like a when you say shielding, you mean like electromagnetic shielding, like on a starship.
Yes, this is not to say that this is. I'm not saying these things are inside it's radioactive or uniquely hazardous. It's more that these are very sensitive components, and that this is basically something that is meant to shield them from any hazards external to it.
Okay. All right, so gonna have to go check the computer core or the computer interface.
All right, are
Is
all
it
of you
of
moving on
Klingon
up?
design?
It does appear so, contrary to the very generic one that I had to use here.
Does the design look? Does the interface look old style?
A little.
Am I looking at
Yeah, just kind of
like
eyeballing it
Windows
from
90?
here.
Looking at Windows 95, or am I looking at like Windows 10?
It, probably like 2003 to be fair, but that's
Okay,
just what you're getting from the other end of the room. Um, are you guys electing to move forward?
I am. Yes.
Is everybody else joining Tabok?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't fallen apart yet. Never mind. Sorry, dumb joke.
Yep. So the five of you proceed. Now, perhaps, if you cannot recognize my greatness properly, I can instruct you with a more concrete lesson. And Tabok, there is a familiar warm gold, orangish, yellowish glow of transporter beams coming to your left,
Oh,
your
crap.
right, from behind, and directly ahead of you.
Uh-huh.
My
The instructor pointed at one of them.
aiming directly ahead, or
No,
to one of the sides.
to the one that just popped up.
Yep. All of
The
these
one,
are
the one
just,
to the right.
yeah. To be clear, all of these, like, there will be transporter beams in all 4 directions. But they each appear for dramatic effect. Um, my designs, my progress will give the Empire superior soldiers, and perhaps one day they will fight with their faculties. But until then, I will settle for adaptation of my techniques. Tabak, while the first 3 signatures are manifesting, insight and security here actually from everyone. Highest roll will get this.
Insight, security, 2 dice.
And very nicely done from Azek there.
All your good rolls, Spicy.
So that everyone else is kind of looking around right now, and you're focused on the others, but Azek, as you dart between looking at them, you realize that the beam for the last one is the jacketing of the transporter beam is considerably larger. Alas, my techniques may have robbed some of their senses, but I have given the Empire a great boon. And you shall see what my work has wrought. And as it resolves, the beam emerges.
Rolled on.
His scales, perfection. His scales considerably have taken on a greater hue of red as opposed to the green that might have been met with previously. His eyes completely blackened, and his arms and chest bursting with considerable more volume to it than before. He seems mostly without his previous armor and garb, instead with a basically tasteful lab underwear, basically. And there's definitely a sheen of some sort of coating of a sort that causes him to glisten a bit. But what appears to be some form of your original crewman, your ship's engineer, manifests before you.
That's what I was afraid of.
Now, join them, or become the food that nourishes the future.
I shoot the one I was aiming at, trying really hard not to hit the sensitive equipment.
So, one over here to your right.
Uh-huh.
All right, well, you're in combat now, so go ahead and give me a control and security roll. Your blast goes just a little high as you are overly cautious. With one success, you try to aim away from that, and you wind up hitting some of the ceiling above. It roars back in your general direction. However, for the first opposed turn, I will ask, Caligo, do you wish to go first?
Now you can have the first little action if you so desire.
All right. Well, this one did not like you shooting at it at all there, Tabak. It is going to move to close the distance with you and go in for a melee strike.
Yay.
So this one will just go in, I think, for a clawed attack. And
See, good. You see, then it's not attacking me because my name's not Claude.
nice try.
Damn
I'm going to tap its instinctive rage talent, which will allow it to gain a bonus d20 for its melee task. However, it now must take a permanent complication range of 2 for the remainder of the scene.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Would
So
you
it
like?
is going to make an attack. Tabak, you must roll daring and security contest.
Would you like an additional die?
Probably, yeah. Okay, so that was daring and security, you said?
Yep.
Oh, wait, melee combat. Yes, my focus will kick in on that.
Okay. Well,
Tragedy.
so it does, with 2 successes to your 1, it does outroll you here. However, it did score a complication when it made its attack. So I am prepared to offer that it will attempt to roll damage, but rather than be able to conduct the strike, it will only essentially create the shove. So it will still roll for damage, and if it gets the knockdown, then it will have that effect, but you will not take any damage here.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, it fails to actually do something to you. You just managed to, you realize, like, as you're readying yourself, you had sheathed your mek'leth, so you just flip over the pistol and try to block it. You just kind of use it to connect with the claws, and it, like, you barely maintain your grasp on it. It just kind of very barely blocks, and it sends you, like, stumbling back a few feet, but you do manage to keep your footing as this begins to close here.
Okie doke.
So let's see. I will allow the... I think I'm going to spend 2 threat to keep the initiative here. And have the one from behind come towards Kresic.
Excellent.
So, Kresic, you hear the sounds of the other one moving to rush you.
Stomp.
Yep. It is going to take the same instinctive rage, so it will suffer the same penalties, but also gain an additional d20 in its attack, which I will go ahead and roll. 3 successes from that.
I'm going to spend a quick momentum here, guys, to get a third die.
Yep.
And I can use fitness because of my talent.
Oh no.
And that is not good.
So that is 2 successes and a complication from Kresic with a natural 20 there. So first and foremost, it will outroll you there. Allow me to ask, what do you wish to do about that complication? Do you want to buy it off with some of your remaining momentum? Do you wish to give the GM threat, or would you prefer to accept a narrative complication?
Let's go. Yeah, let's give you some more threat. You're low.
Okay, I will take the threat, and I will also have the mutant roll for damage. That is going to be, let's see, 4 points plus those effects are all vicious, so that is going to be 7 points of damage.
Oh,
How
crap.
much of that do you resist?
1.
Okay, so that will still be 6 points of damage, and 6 points of stress, and you will be knocked prone by that attack as it moves forward. You're able to turn in order to face it, but you are not prepared for the viciousness of this onslaught, um, as it just slashes away. Its claws clearly augmented to be extra sharp, and it just hacks into the scales and deals like horrendous blows. Uh, that is an injury, and
And that's why I save the momentum.
yeah, I guess would you? Well, so far as that injury goes, going back through the rules here, I don't think it intended a lethal injury here, but I'll go ahead and well, would you want to spend the momentum in order to buy off that?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be 2 momentum to ignore the effects of that injury. So the turn goes back to you. Mutants have begun their attack, and it seems your former crew member has been impacted by them yourself by this thing in some manner. Uh, Tabak has already acted. Kresic, Azik, Draven, any of you can do something.
Do have something I want to try.
Well,
Do it. Go for it.
Go for it.
I'm gonna move here. I'm gonna drop down my weapon, and I'm gonna look Raldar dead in the eyes, and I'm gonna try and make him come back to his senses.
All right.
Oh, it was nice knowing you, Draven.
Only because this was designed for Klingons. He's not a Klingon. So it could have adverse side effects.
Do it.
okay.
Okay.
All right. Interesting.
My next question is, how many talents can I use in a turn?
As many of them as apply to a task.
So first I want to use my join talent. And I'm going to gain the focus psychology. I feel like that would help me here.
Okay.
And then I want to use my Dauntlet, my Diffuse the Tension talent. Whenever I attempt a task to persuade someone not to resort to violence, I may add a bonus d20 to my dice pool.
I love it.
Okie dokie.
The power of friendship is real.
Friendship.
What's gonna save this Klingon crew? The power of friendship, baby.
Okay.
Why do
So
I suddenly feel like a My Little Pony?
you are attempting to appeal to this what appears to be
Valdar's
Raldar.
better nature.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Raldar, I think that such as you are now, or such as this is now, Caligo, I believe that this is somewhat going, like it is going against the raw instinct that you are programmed with. So I think that I guess we could. I can either set a difficulty, or you may contest if you wish.
I'm okay with you setting a difficulty,
Okay.
and if he passes it, it will affect what I will do over the next 2 turns.
Spectacular. Well, geez, with as much as as much as has been done here, I think that the difficulty on this, I think it would go up to 4.
Oh,
I'm going to drop, however,
Fair.
2 points of threat in order to max that out, and as the figure that appears to be Raldar, hears what would effectively be the sounds of a dog whistle, the conditioning of senses being appealed to in order to raise that difficulty slightly further. So, yeah, this is going to be a 5 here. You may attempt roll at your leisure, Traven.
It would be task roll 3 with an extra dice, right?
And a focus.
And a focus.
Yep.
Well,
Can I use a momentum to reroll?
nope.
You can at least buy off that complication you have rolled, because that is
Do you
one.
still have your determination?
Nope.
He used it to help Kresic have a neater workspace.
I thought we were gonna make a cure.
I thought we were too.
Okay, so Traven, that is 1 success and a complication.
Yeah.
For the complication, would you prefer to buy that off with momentum? Would you prefer to give the GM threat, or would you accept a narrative complication?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the narrative complication. Let's go.
Oh.
Let's make it mad.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, David. You just
Raldar, what's the narrative complication?
Well, my idea.
He gets his head bitten off.
No, that's after. That's after. No. What I'm imagining is he didn't exactly put his gun down right, and when he threw it to the ground, it went off.
Oh. So he's like, hey, look, I'm putting it down. I'm putting it down. He tosses it, and the weapon discharges when it hits the floor. So is it just are you saying that I guess then it goes off and hits someone at random?
Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds funny.
So that is 5 members of the crew, 3 mutants, and and Raldar, or as it appears. So let's call this a. I'm going to roll a d10.
And warp machinery as the.
Yep, and the machinery. Okay, so that is going to hit the Klingon the Klingon mutant that is fighting Tabak.
That's pretty helpful.
I'm so useful.
That's funny. Traven, go ahead and roll damage for it. Or, technically you didn't pull the trigger, so just roll me 3 challenge dice, please. I know it wouldn't be that much different, given Traven's 1 security.
Oh, wow.
Roll that one more time, just because it malfunctioned there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is 3 points of damage with the Vicious 1 effect. These, because of the augmented Brack-Lul quality that these talents that they have, they are going to get 3 resistance for a non-lethal attack. Which, accidental as this is, that is not lethal. Unless you happen to have it set like just at maximum, which I'd be receptive to. I'd take a point of threat, but I'd still.
What do you guys think?
Any damage on these things is good damage.
Yeah, take a threat.
Okay. No. I'll take a point of threat, and it takes 1 point of stress.
That much. I don't think that was a fair trade.
Well, okay, so the turn goes back to the opposed. Caligo, do you wish to act?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. So, who looks the most tasty to you?
Oh no.
Daybok.
Of course I do. Traven's right there.
I'm not tantalizing. I'm salty.
You are literally covered in snacks.
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay.
Do
Uh,
a melee attack.
all right. Are you attempting a particular type of melee attack?
I will be doing a grapple attempt.
Oh.
Very good. So that will we'll treat this as non-lethal here, but this will be daring and security contested.
You are coming after me, or are you going after Traven?
Traven.
Oh, okay.
He's the one who stepped up. A worthy sacrifice.
All right.
Dot pockets will not save him.
All right, Traven, roll your daring and security.
Yeah, all right. Neat.
Roll it.
No.
Okay.
Oh no!
Hey, Traven.
Oh no! So the the seemingly augmented, infected, whatever this force has done to Raldar, strolls up to him with 3 successes on that grapple. Traven, you have rolled not only all failures, but 1 complication on the board as well. So before we resolve this precisely, I must ask, are you buying that off with momentum? Do you wish to take points of, or do you wish to give the GM points of threat? Or do you wish to accept a narrative complication?
Feel like a narrative complication will kill me. How much momentum do we have, though? Only 2?
Points.
Tavok, you're the captain. What do you think?
Give him some threat. He's only got 1.
Okay, you may have another threat.
No, he's
Okay.
going to get another 2 threat. Right?
That is correct.
I will take the 2 points of threat, but I will deal that into the pool that I have given to Caligo.
That's not what we wanted to see.
Mm-mm.
No, not really.
So, describe the nature of the grapple and how that which appears to be Raldar, the souped up Raldar, approaches him.
Well, his arms come out and grab Traven's upper arms and pushes them to his sides, and he picks him up and brings him to about eye level.
And then bites his head off.
Now, I can't do anything else. That was my turn.
Yeah, that was
I
it.
don't-
That was
Yeah,
I
the
don't
turn.
have more actions.
Yeah,
Just the grapple.
not without spending 2 points of threat to keep the initiative.
Oh, do I want to be that mean?
You don't have to be. Let the others give it a try here. But that is, of course, up to you.
Oh, I'll let the turn pass. What?
Okay. I
What are you
make
about to do?
allowances for them, for my food, for them to play with their food. But yeah, with that, let's see. I guess there is still Azik, you can act. Kresic, you can act. You'd have to spend a minor action to get back up, of course. Or you can have Dekoth try to do something here.
I'll wait until the end.
Okay. Azik.
This guy right here is right next to me, and I've got my dagger out, so I'm going to try to stab him.
Okay. Daring and security, and you may freely take 1 additional d20 here.
Ooh, thank you, disease.
Why freely?
Can I use my
disease.
hand-to-hand combat?
Yes. You may.
Thank you, disease. Oh,
Oh!
Oh no.
never mind.
Bring it on.
Disease.
Bring it on.
You move in to go for the Klingon mutant that is nearest Kresic, trying to stab with your Daktach. It, however, manages to just slash away at the side and with one hand to sort of bat the knife and break the guard that you have. With the other one, it swings out its claws at you, and that will deal another 6 points of damage, which I guess you have Bracklull, so since this wasn't something I'm going to say that when they don't do it intentionally, it isn't going to be a lethal blow. So your Bracklull, I think, defaulting to 2, you should actually resist enough to not take an injury, but you will take 4 points of stress, and it'll give you a pretty gnarly slash, like along the side.
Okay. Do I need to roll for the poison, or I'm already poisoned?
I may have you do a check here at the end of the turn, but the poison or the hazard only spreads via the bite.
Roger that. Okay.
Okay. With that, the last of
one.
the last of the mutants is going to join the fray. This one's going to try to engage Dakoth here. Would somebody be willing to roll for Dakoth, please? If not, I can take it. It's no problem.
Let me pull him up.
Much appreciated. See, you'll get some melee successes tonight, Tabok.
You're a hero, Tablock. You can do it.
All right, so he's rolling what?
Daring and
Daring
security.
and security. There we go. 2 dice.
You have to beat 3 successes, and he
Does
might...
brawling count?
Brawling most definitely counts here.
All right, so he's got the focus. And
I don't know if he has any talents or anything. Okay.
talents. Cruel.
I don't think...
Oh, you may... Hold on a minute. You attempt a task to identify the weakness or flaws of an enemy. Yeah, no, I don't believe any of that would work.
Okay. Well, in any case, with only a single success there, that will not be enough to overcome the rage of this mutant's charge as it moves in for very deliberate, very lethal swings here.
Very deliberate, very lethal.
Unfortunately, Dakoth is very much used to this, so while his guard somewhat goes down, it is just enough, or it mitigates just enough that the claws only deal a point of stress. Like he's getting his shirt torn up, TOS style, or like very much the Kirk slashes. And
yeah, he already had 5 points of stress on his character sheet when I opened it up. Is
that might have been from a previous? Well, wait, now
he never closed to melee with that other beastie.
Yeah, no, the one. I think that must have been from a previous thing. This must have been from when all his ribs were broken.
Yes, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all good. I'll let that counter reset here. If the GM is wrong, then that is my mistake here. All right.
Wait. The GM is never wrong.
The GM will allow for this. Okay, so with that, the turn goes back to you. Dakoth may act, and Kresic may also act here.
Dakoth can go first.
Okay, so he's going to try to hit the guy who just plinked at him.
Yep. So going in for a melee?
Yeah, might as well.
Unfortunately, Dakoth has no values that I am aware of.
Not yet, I don't think.
Yeah. And
I said, no values. No.
He was brought along for this mission. I don't recall.
We gave him constantly watching.
Okay. Yeah. So, would you like to spend any momentum for this attack?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well then, the mutant will meet.
Was this a lethal attack?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I'm going to modify this very slightly here, or a little bit of an on-the-fly type of. I'll melee it. Okay, so what will happen here is that I will take the 3 dice on the offense, but not when it is defending here, just for sake of balance. But it will happen with the increased complication range. And okay, yeah, Dakoth, you're the Koha bodyguard as it weathers these first withering blows. He just meets it with a rage and kind, the sort that not even they perhaps have fully mustered. Uh, I do take a point of threat for this being a lethal attack, but with your 2 successes, with your 3 successes over the mutant's 1, you gain 2 points of momentum, and you may now roll damage. Are you going for like a stab with this dagger?
Yep. That's only 1 die, so.
Well,
Plus
it
2
adds his
security.
security discipline as well, automatically on the
Okay.
sheet.
Ooh.
And that has vicious, so that is
And it has deadly.
yes, which just makes it harder basically for it to conduct a non-lethal attack.
Oh, that's right. It's not the other one.
Yep.
It's not
So
intense.
that is let's see, 8 points of damage, which would be enough for a lethal injury. And I am going to let Dakoth just plunge that dagger home and
Up through the lower jaw, through the upper palate, and into the brainstem.
yep. It's the sort of thing where like it tries to lunge and Dakoth gets that dagger out, gets the dagger under. It like spittles up blood and everything. Dakoth just moves in such a way that he's probably got some biologically concerning material on him, but not in any place where it would actually get into a system. Just enough to give him the gnarly horror face mask type thing.
Okay.
Dakoth is like Grindhouse Survivor character right now. So yeah, with a lethal injury, you have killed one of them. The turn goes back to them, and I will ask
There's no one
first.
left to go.
Yeah, Caligo, would
Except for
you?
me. Oh, if you can spend momentum, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess I'll let it run
It's
through to allow you to go ahead and make your move here. We'll finish out the turn then.
all right.
So
I'm going to minor action stand,
yep.
and I am going to shoot.
Which one are you shooting?
Well, I'm guessing I'm not going to shoot the one that's closing in over me, because that would be firing into a melee. So I'm going to shoot the one that's attacking our captain.
Okay. I'd say because that's still like it's shooting into a different melee. Well, actually, I will say that with the narrative setup, you have just a small window to attack. So go ahead and give me control and security.
Yes. And my focus applies. Anyone mind me taking a momentum?
Go ahead.
Okay, 3 successes. That is enough to hit this. I presume you are going with a disruptor.
Disruptor, lethal.
Okay, I will take 1 point of threat. Take your shot. Ooh, that is 10 points of damage.
Frame.
So 10 points of stress there. I think that's enough to, if not
That's a
set to,
brain scrambler.
yeah, if not set to like maximum vaporize, then that is at least like burning away a good bit of him. Kresic, how aggressively would you like that to go, just for flavor purposes?
I think hole through the chest is very thematic.
Okay. Yes. Tabak, you see this thing begin to build itself back up. Its rage steadily churning, and it is about to make another charge when a sickly green bolt crosses it, like comes from one side of your field of vision, and with a horrible burning, with a horrible burning scent assailing your nostrils. That bolt passes right through the chest, actually connects to the shielding to one of the stabilizers. The shielding itself is completely unfazed, but this creature has a hole in it that gives you a very firm grasp at it. Its chest cavity's just been completely burned through, and it
I can just
falls.
imagine the smell has got to be horrific.
It is. It is the worst assault on your senses you have had. It, in its last moments of life, just grits its teeth and tries to reach out, but it's like it is the last residual neurons firing, trying to get it to attack. So driven is it. So that is 2 kills on the board for the boarding party. And now we circle back. The initiative goes to the opposing side. I will stand by my question. Caligo, would you like to act first, or would you like to pass to the other mutant?
I would like to act.
All right. What is your
Oh,
action?
would you?
I'm gonna take a bite out of our lovely cook.
You don't have to.
This
Yeah,
will
but
be
you're tasty.
But he'd like to.
this will be a daring and security roll, and I am rechecking my rules here when it comes to melee combat. But with the other character in a grapple, you have a grappling complication, so the only action that you could take, you cannot take any other action aside from trying to break free, which means that you are forced to, let's see.
Kick him in the balls. Sorry.
It looks as though you have, well, okay, in principle, you could attack the grappling character, but it would increase your difficulty by 1. So, I will say, Traven, you may contest this if you wish, but whatever Raldar scores, he is going to get a boost of 1, or you need to beat that difficulty by 1 more to succeed.
Kick him in the ding ding.
Well, I have to contest. I have to.
Yeah.
It's
Or
true.
I just
Just
get
don't roll
auto
another
hit.
complication, please.
Yeah.
Wait,
Ca-
that sounds easy.
I do have to ask, Caligo, are you going for a more lethal chomp, or are you just looking at a tasty limb or something?
Sampling the
Th-
cuisine.
Oh, this is no. This one's gonna hurt. I will gladly spend a threat to make it a lethal attack.
Okay.
Spectacular.
Not
I'm
giving
so
you
sorry,
one, I'm
Traven.
spending it because I think
Yeah.
that would be fair.
Yes, drop a threat from your. You have threat in your pool there. You may drop one, and go ahead and roll daring and security.
Can I use my survival focus now?
You know, I'll give it to you the one time.
Awesome.
Maybe the last time, but definitely the one.
Okay, here we go. Daring and security. Woohoo! Hey! Look at that! Hey!
That
No
is
complications.
well. That's no complications. That's also no successes, and that's 3 successes from what appears to be your former crewmate. Describe your bite. How do you like? Where would you like to go? I'll stand by my request. Let's avoid the head here. But
He's gonna go down the left shoulder,
okay.
very deep in the maw, like an alligator.
Yum yum.
Num
Nope.
num.
So some of you may get may catch sight of what appears to be Raldar's jaw coming over Traven's shoulder and just sinking in.
I believe that's death.
I think so.
It's an injury.
That's definitely a lethal injury there. So let's see. That is 1,
Hey
2,
there,
4,
Draven.
6, 8. So that's 9 points of
Points?
stress.
How many points of stress did you have left, Draven?
I had exactly 6.
So that is technically 2 points of stress here. So I think Traven is going. Tell you what, at the cost of 2 momentum, technically you can still ignore the impacts of the injury, which I will not. I'm going to limit that a bit. Traven is definitely going to be incapacitated and bleeding out, but I will not. I will allow you to at least nullify the auto death part. There's an opportunity, however fleeting, to save him.
Or do you want a new character?
That's the key.
Yeah, find a new Trill symbiote. That's or see if a Trill can interact with a different species. Or
I
rather,
find
the
it
symbiote.
crazy that when it came down to it, Traven is worth 2 momentum.
Yep.
All right.
It's up to you at
Yep.
this point.
Well, Kresic is still alive.
Exactly.
So I want to survive. I want to see if I can get this done.
Okay. So yeah, Traven, you experience the most horrendous pain before like blacking out from absolute shock. If you want to have any sort of narrative just to establish that, uh, if you want to describe Traven's reaction before he falls asleep or like loses consciousness completely, then go right ahead.
I reach my hand up to Raldar's face. I look him dead in the eyes and I go, "It's okay. I forgive you." And then I'm going to go down.
Yep. As blood just wells up in your mouth and everything. But yeah, the entity that appears to be Raldar does take a fair chunk of meat with him. These are definitely not just dermal regenerator wounds. Um, but with that bit there, Caligo would he drop Traven, or is he going to continue to hold on to his new prize?
Well, I had one idea of something to do, and I will spend 2 threat to maintain an initiative for this.
Okay.
Uh, he has bitten also into Traven's tactical snacks bag,
That's great.
and he is not pleased by this taste. So he would, let go of the bite, and he's going to throw Traven at Dekoth.
Okay. So I'm going to say that's a control and security roll with a difficulty of 2.
It would go up by 1, right? Because he's this is a second action this turn.
Oh, you have a good point. Yes, that would increase to 3.
And, I think this is funny. I'll spend one of my threat points to get another die. Just for chucking him real hard, because I think it would be funny.
Yep. All right. And yeah, that is 3 points of success. At this point, we won't worry about damage for Traven, or there's no point, but that I think is going to be counted as a bludgeon for Dekoth there. So let's see here. If you would like Caligo to go ahead and roll 3 like just 3d20s here, and
Alright.
or not 3d20s. Jeez,
Three
God.
three challenge dice, please. All right. So that with, I know I should technically include security as well, but I think that
I'm
Traven's an
looking more for the
improv.
knockdown.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, there's the knockdown effect, and that is a few more points of stress on Dekoth. But yeah, the the mostly lifeless form of Traven is tossed across the room by this large, like terrible, like what remains of your former crewman, it seems, and Traven knocks over Dekoth. So there, we'll roll over there, and we'll mark. We'll call it the. I'll use this symbol here to indicate that. Or no, use this to indicate that Dekoth is currently down, and Traven's just going to be taking a little nap here,
Nappy nap.
or use. No, I like this better. Okay. So yeah, Tabak, Azik, Kresik, the three of you watch with horror as Raldar appears to have chomped away at your cook and briefly incapacitated your bodyguard.
Okay.
Cap-
Well,
Captain, permission to kill Raldar.
Crescent, we still have one. Okay, hold on. There's still one behind us that's trying to kill us.
Yes, but I
We don't have time
don't
for the
think
conversation.
he's the problem.
Just kill this guy.
Which
Kill
guy?
This guy. Can you see
All
that?
right.
There we go.
All right. I'll go for that one then. Back up enough that I have a clear shot. And go ahead and blast him with my disruptor pistol. And that is enough to hit.
Yep, that is enough to hit. So you move back, swing around your disruptor pistol. Are you going for another lethal shot?
Yes.
Okay, I will take another point of threat and go ahead and roll for damage there. Oh dear,
I'm going to spend a point of momentum to reroll that.
Okay, yep, because that's two effects, which gives you, with the Vicious 1 effect, that gives you 4 points of damage currently. Okay, looks like you elected to re-roll the whole pool there.
I did.
So that will be, but that is definitely a lot better. That is 6, 8, 10, 11 points of damage. So that is also going to be enough to vaporize that one. Or, I guess more appropriately, put a hole in it, but it's just off the board for our purposes.
Yep. Just turn around, aim, fire.
Yep. Such a pity. I had hoped they'd be more effective, but I shall settle for my new pet.
All right, so now basically just all of us go. The rest of us just go.
Yeah, shooting Roldar.
Okay.
Rat-a-tat-tat, do it. Do it.
Or what appears, as you keep saying, what appears to be Roldar. Okay, and that's, again, daring and security?
That would be control and
Control.
security to take a shot with your
Cool.
disruptor.
Okay.
Which is hopefully better than your daring.
Yes. Not by much. I'm going to take that last momentum. None of my focuses apply. So, here we go.
Hey!
That is two. Yeah, that is two successes there. So you managed to level your disruptor at the engineer that has worked with you these past over this past year in order to get the yawn up into shape. That's
This is not meant to be lethal.
okay. That will you maybe initially aim for the head, but then adjust your blows so that it won't be quite as direct. But go ahead and roll damage. Okay, that is 5 points of stress. Correct me if I'm wrong, Raldar, but I believe you ignore most of a non-lethal attack.
Yeah.
How many points is that?
That will do 2 points of damage.
Oh,
Stress.
well, I thought that we'd revised that slightly. Oh, yeah, no, that is right. So that you deal 2 points of stress to your seeming former shipmate. Uh, Azik, go ahead before you make this check and give me a fitness and medicine roll here. And because of the last one that you had failed, this looks like it will be. Let's see, you gain 1 point of fatigue, so that will increase your difficulty by. Wait, no, fatigue doesn't increase difficulty on this. What it will do, however, or what will happen, let's see. Ah, the fact that this had the progressive trait to the hazard, the difficulty of this task is actually going to be 5 to resist it now.
Oh boy. Fitness and medicine.
Correct.
Oh God.
Oh dear, that is 1 success and 1 complication. Azik, there is no momentum left on the board, so narrative or threat.
Narrative.
Oh, well, that will first off be another point of fatigue. Your disruptor feels quite difficult to gain a lock at this point. Vision around you is at once hypersensitive, but your brain is further clouded. You feel the beating of everyone's hearts, the pumping of blood, the flow of fear, and the draining of life, as particularly applies to Traven, as well as the mutants. The heat of battle has stirred something deep in you, something primal as a Klingon. The thirst for battle and the desire to do as much damage to your foes as possible. At this point,
Okay.
I don't know how picky you are.
That's what I was wondering.
You may for your next attack. I'm actually going to rule that your next attack as the complication, You will not have the presence of mind to make a ranged attack or like with the control. It will have to be a melee attack. And I am going to have you pick from the remaining combatants. We'll call this, let's see, we've got Dekoth, it appears to be Raldar, Tabok, and Kresic in that order. I will have you roll a 1d4 to select your next target.
And I have my knife out. I don't
Oof.
have my disruptor out, so.
Oh yeah, you had the knife out. And in that order, are you?
Oh wait, that's Reldar,
I think that the order I went was
right?
Dekoth,
Or was it?
Raldar. I
Oh,
went from
Dekoth,
left to
Reldar,
right was the
Tabak.
problem.
Okay. Oof. Hi, Tabak.
All right. Well, sorry, Captain.
Okay, daring and security then. And Azik, you may make this attack, but it will come at you have the option of taking in an additional d20 if you wish. If you do, all of your attacks will come at a complication range of 2.
Unfortunately, because of all the stuff that's happened and my mind isn't right, I don't know. I'm not in the right frame of mind to know that Tabok is friend or foe. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to take the D20, the extra D20, and use my hand-to-hand focus. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I've got Mechleth in one hand and Disruptor in the other.
Yep.
So, oh well.
Tabok, you hear from behind you the rush. Is there an accompanying roar with this?
yes, there is a mighty Klingon yelp as I slice.
Yep. Tabok, at first you think that he's gone mad in terms of trying to charge Raldar, but you realize the blade comes down to attack you. You try to bring your guard up, but just a little too delayed. I will, however, say that while he scores 2 successes, his roll still generates momentum as there is possibility for him to regain his sense. So you may take back 2 momentum.
Oh, sorry, I already took the 2.
Oh,
that's my bad.
That's okay. I'll take if you could just drop that, then by all means. Okay. So,
Roll damage.
yep. Roll damage for that dagger.
Okay.
That is 3 points of stress. So that
Oh,
slash.
wait, no, it's 1 point of stress because I have armor on.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, it just manages to get like into a grooving of your armor, in part because the attack came with a bit of surprise. But yes, Azik is now. He just has a primal rage-driven look to things. So the turn, I believe, now goes back to.
Dekoth is the last person to act, I believe, before we go back to the top.
Dekoth will rise here. I guess with his
And tackle Azik.
Copy that.
I don't know what to roll for that.
Let's call that daring and security. That'd be a shove, basically.
Brawling?
Yes.
Focus?
Brawling would apply, definitely.
Alright, well. Go. Nope.
Alright. Azik, you may roll to counter. 2 d20s for defense, but still with the complication range. Well, that was meant to be during insecurity, but at any rate, let's see. With that,
Oh, sorry.
that is that's 2 successes there, or at least 2 to start with. Plus, let's see, you'd have a 12, so yeah, 2 successes there. You generate 2 more points of momentum. Feel free to draw a Kresic. And you may roll damage to counterattack. And that is 5 points of damage on Dekoth, which would be an injury. So are you going for more of a slash or a stab as the bodyguard comes for you?
Stab.
Okay, so yeah, Dekoth reels back after taking that injury there. You can buy it off, but he's definitely a little. He'll otherwise be out of this fight.
I think we just
Bought
bought it off.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. All right.
We
so
cannot afford to lose anybody else right now.
Yep. So, order goes back to you. Specifically back up to Caligo.
All right.
Your food is fighting amongst each other now.
Well, clearly, gotta deal with the tougher food first. Now let's see.
He's going toward. Is he coming at Dekoth or Azek?
Bring it on.
I think that's a Tabak.
Oh dear.
We must go after the tougher. Yes, that is the tougher target.
A quicker picker-upper.
He looks all gamey.
Ew.
True.
All right. Daring and security, I presume.
Daring and security.
Yeah, give me a momentum, please. So I don't die. Like, that'll help.
Three successes there for. Oh, but Tabak actually matches. So, as your seeming former engineer lunges in and moves to grab, Tabak, would you like to meet this with a mighty roar of your own?
Yes. And
Okay.
we got the whole the standard, we're locked and dun, 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 dun,
Yes,
dun,
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. Yep, you got the cue.
Yep. The two engineers stand locked. Tabak on one hand, this being a face you long knew, but on the other hand, there's something in the eyes that just seems utterly lost. That which is something just utterly unrecognizable, absent, just at a terrible. It is a terrible loss here, but you managed to forestall the grapple at the very least, whilst keeping it, straining in this melee here. While we're on that note, do we want to engage that one advantage? I see that you are all ready for that there. So I will ask. Let's see. Let me go back here. Was there? Would there be a particular value that you'd see as relevant to this?
Who?
I
Raldar.
think the first one.
All right. I will accept that. As you are engaged in this bloody struggle, as what seems to be your former engineer strains against you, the blood of your chef covering his maw, a familiar that familiar orangish yellow glow from the transporter comes up. Go ahead and however you plan to attack, make your roll.
All right. Blasting them. If I still have.
You do.
You have a pistol. You have the pistol. You don't have the rifle anymore.
He got his gun
Or did
back.
he? Oh, he got his gun back. Wow.
Oh,
Or did he?
well, let's see. That didn't succeed. Raldar, narrative or threat?
I ignore the first one. The first complication on a security task.
Oh, right. With the that's the trained from birth talent you gained from the house.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's still not quite enough. I suppose you could succeed at cost of giving me a point of threat.
Mm. Sure.
Okay. I take a point of threat, and your bolt from your disruptor rifle flies true. Go ahead and roll damage.
You want to spend that last point of momentum here, buddy?
You know, I think I would like to do that. Yes.
Please.
So
Better.
that is
Better.
4, 6, 8, 10 points of stress. I believe for this type of blow, 2 of those will be ignored, so that is still enough for an injury. How do you intend to shoot?
Yeah.
Or like
Pretty much.
describe your shot, basically.
Well, pretty much as Dark Raldar, rears above to strike at Tabak. Raldar transports in and shoots him in the back.
The facsimile counterpart, whatever this entity may be, roars as the bolt strikes into its back, reeling just a little bit and backing off from you, Tabak. So,
And I will spend its one threat so it does not die from this.
okay. Yep, it's the cost to ignore injuries is reduced for it. So, with that, I believe the next action would come from, I'd say you, well, let's see. Doctor, you can still act. Dekoth has already done something, and Azek has made his move. Or actually, I think we've reset the order at this point.
We're at a new round, so everybody can act.
Yep.
So Dark Raldar is still standing.
He's still standing. If I may make a suggestion, if you're planning on fighting him in melee, I would probably wait until some of us have done some stuff. That way he doesn't have the chance to attack you back.
And kill me?
Yes. I'd rather that not happen.
Yep.
You got your one good security roll of the game. Let's just end it on a high
Of the
here.
session,
Yeah.
not the game.
We are pushing rather late here, and I'm sensitive to anyone who's on Eastern Standard Time here. So, do we want the slightly more rushed version of this?
I would not be averse to that at this juncture.
Is everyone more or less in
I'm okay
agreement?
with that.
Okay. In that case, I think it's time for someone else to also take a
Excellent.
take a bit of movement here. Cap, Blurg. Basically, Woe calls out, says Vopry's got something, exclaims something upon seeing the multiple Raldars and says just nope. She has a look that freezes for a moment and then says absolutely not. She is going to invoke her value of do good recklessly and just take a shot with the disruptors here, or with her disruptor rifle.
Okay, good, good.
Yep.
It was daring, but still good.
Oh,
Nice.
my mistake there. Control would have been a
It'll
10.
still hit. It'll
Yep.
still hit.
So that with that, just maximum lethal point. Presumed point of threat is given to me. Okay, I'm just gonna roll for the plasma. Yeah, the plasma repeater that she has. So that's let's see, 4 points. That's 5 points of damage, results by 2. I'm going to let Woe give me one addition. Well, no, I'll put some of that, the 1 point of momentum in just to re-roll that there, and yeah,
Wow.
I double-click that. The plasma is going to still hit this thing. It won't leave much of an injury, but it will offer a bit of a distraction. Cap, we gotta get off this ship right now. That bastard's been building up the warp core to breach.
Get us off this ship. Button on the bracer. Get us off this ship. Energize.
You are quite tiresome. Farewell. And with that, the ship begins to rattle uncontrollably. And, I'm not going to force a roll here. Just allow for
Otherwise, we all die.
Yep. The transporter beam will begin to jack. It's like, no, no, no. And it's cut off as he disappears, and all of you disappear in a curtain of light.
Which Raldar did we get?
You get the correct one. They were able to get a lock. Traven is
You get
also on the
both.
transporter pad, just barely bleeding out now.
You get both Raldars.
No.
Oh. No. I'm willing to say that I think that other Raldar would be there in the rush and confusion, and I think this is disorienting even for the other Raldar for a moment, who Woe promptly attempts to restrain. All right, Kip. I don't know what this is about, but how's about you take care of this? I can only have to. Woe. I'm so sorry, everybody.
That's fine.
Yep. So next moves
Okay.
here.
Well, I still have the mech left in my hand. Jab it into Dark Raldar.
Okay. It just gets angrier.
Wait. Can I say there's like a little implant on like the back of its head or something?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just fucking smash that.
Yep.
Which consequently also punches him in the back of the head, but
Yes.
that'll take him down.
It's got an off button.
Cybernetic controller.
Captain. The audio
Yeah,
from the transporter room calls out, rather from the bridge. Vessel, the freighter is attempting to power up engines somehow. I am very confused. I thought reactors were down. I am. I have behind reversing engines.
Yeah, back us away. Get us away from that damn thing.
It continues to close, but we're gaining slight distance. So you choose. Who's heading up to the bridge right now?
I'm going up to the bridge.
I'm headed to the
it's
bridge.
okay. So Raldar, the Dark Raldar is
Dark
done.
Raldar, I think we've established is down. Traven is bleeding out on the transporter pad.
Right.
Azek is confused to the world. Dekoth is like clutching his gut.
I hit
Yeah.
I just hit.
Kresik, do what you can with these. Getting up to the bridge.
Also, if if Dark Raldar is down, Raldar would be free, I think, to join you, and I guess Zionel would probably be up on the bridge. Vopri's there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Zionol is our backup pilot, right?
No, Zionol is the sleazy Riemann.
Bahan is there. So,
Bahan, good.
Yep.
Bahan, get us out of here.
I'm trying. I've got to pack up by impulse. It's still trying to close the distance. We're at about long range, Cap. Want me to torpedo the bastard?
Are we gonna? We're not gonna cut caught in it.
No, you are at
Shoot
perfect
it.
range for it.
Fire.
All right. Somebody roll weapons and security for the ship.
Weapon security?
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I have it pulled up.
Okay, cool.
All right. Then Woe is going to fire torpedoes.
Well.
Okay, they wind up missing, unfortunately, and with that complication range, with the complication there, I don't feel like I'll just take the point of threat. But Bahan says, "Sir, I believe we have warp power."
Go.
And with that, it will fire up he'll fire up the engines and attempt a daring escape. Captain, a message from enemy freighter.
Play it.
It's only a matter of time. And in that moment that passes, Bahan fires up the warp engines. With a second D20 there, not command there. Apologies.
That's good enough.
You know, there were 2 successes there. He warps away, and you leave behind the ghost ship.
And it doesn't explode?
Not as of yet.
Can we drop a torpedo on it as we leave? Torpedoes, we have rear launchers.
I'll allow that. And I'll just say, Woe promptly drops quite a few torpedoes, more so than you're comfortable with.
It got diarrhea out of the aft torpedo launcher.
Yep.
Did we hit it?
Yeah. I think the target's gone. I'm not getting a good readout from it. Heavy antimatter explosion.
Well, that could be the photon torpedoes.
Kip, that thing's not warp capable. I'm happy to just get away for now.
No, we are. All right, wherever we're supposed to go next, set course.
She will do so, and or rather, Bahan will do so. And with that,
help get the wounded to the sick bay.
I'm having to drag one at a time. It's kind of a pain.
Yep. And because we are so far ahead, I think this is where we should close out. There will be, I think that we will run something for the aftermath of this on the way to the next mission there, but there may be impacts of that for later on. So, yeah. All right. Well, that being said, I think that we are going to cut off here for now. So I appreciate everybody sticking around. It ran a bit later than expected just to get through the whole boss sequence there, but we are through the horror episode, and that's all we've got for tonight. So thanks for stopping in, and I hope everybody enjoys. Well, hope everyone has a good night.
Good night.
See ya. We did it.